Another must-win is upon us. Matchups to watch with Aisha Morrison, Clarence with updates from Pittsburgh, a look around the league, all of that in the DLLS Cowboys pregame show. Meow. Let's do this. Yeah. Cowboys, Steelers, Sunday night football. It's going to start at 7:20, assuming that the storm that's rolling in doesn't break things. Assuming. So welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. While you're here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe. I dare you. And keep in mind that all the shows that we do 5 days a week end up on your favorite podcast platforms as well as on YouTube. And youtube.com/@DLLS_sports if you're watching on my channel. Hi, my name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
That was good.
Next to me is our star analyst, X's and O's queen, Aisha Morrison.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And next to Aisha is the guy who's really gunning for Clarence, hoping to see him really fall off as a Cowboys beat writer and take the crown.
Which
Joe
one's
Hoyt.
downfall?
Tell him something, Joe.
Yeah.
Bam.
That's what we got. All right, so here we go. We will talk to Clarence Hill in just a minute with actives, inactives, all the things that you need to know from Pittsburgh. But before we do that, I just want to ask you guys, it's a very basic boy question.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need them to win the game.
Facts.
Because if they don't, I'm going to be a sad boy.
Mm-hmm.
Especially considering that I think they're going to win or lose the next two games also.
Mm-hmm.
So if they lose tonight, I kind of think that it's almost draft season, and I don't need that in my life. So what I want to know is, how are you guys feeling?
What you got?
I mean, I watched a lot of college football on Saturday, and there's a lot of good draft prospects out there.
You son of a bitch.
Why would you go there?
I'm sorry. No, but I mean, I feel good. I think I had a moment watching some of the early games, and I said, because I'm really into the schematics of things and, the analytics. And I had this thought. I was like, the Cowboys are going to win today. Dude just got to go make plays.
Right.
Dude's just got to go make plays. And that's one thing I kept thinking about. And, I mean, if they have some guys that can. So I feel better about than I did earlier this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm feeling how you're feeling. But
Okay.
This is an intricate part in their season. This game has turned into something else.
Okay.
As far as like last week, we were like, oh, they need this win. No, this the one.
They
that
got
I
the
feel
one
like,
they got the first one they needed. This is the second one they needed.
This is the one that I feel like I'm hoping that I think across the NFL we're starting to see some of these offenses figure some things out. We're starting to see them. We're 5 weeks in, so we're starting to see some synergy, some good communication, whatever. Teams are good. People are about to start separating themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Are you about to be on that side of the separation, or are you gonna be on this side of the separation? So this game right here, y'all, like it feels bigger.
This game right here.
This game right here.
Shout out to the people in the super chat already.
What's
the Lando
up?
show is in there for the brand.
Man.
Oh, Lando.
Gimli's in there. Jeff, I know how you feel about drafting running backs in round one, and I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to say the Boise State guy's last name. Is it Gianti?
Gianti.
Gianti?
Yeah.
gosh.
Gianti looks insane. Also, would a trade for Chubb make sense? I'll take that Boise State kid so fast. Oh, he's nasty.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go check in. Speaking of nasty, let's check in with our friend.
Segue.
I meant the weather in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Apparently is getting nasty. That's what I meant, not the guy. Let's talk to our friend Clarence Hill, who's in Pittsburgh.
What's up, Papa?
Hey,
Pop.
Hey guys, how you doing? And I'm glad you brought up the weather because it's beautiful right now. It's been a beautiful day, and it's supposed to rain. It's according to the forecast. It's going to rain by, game time. I know when I was walking to the stadium, I said I see no bad clouds, but they claim it's going to rain. And I got to ask this for you guys: who does that help? The Cowboys who don't have a running game, or the Steelers if it's a nasty game, and that's whether you need Dak to be Superman. You need Dak to really be able to sling the ball around and make some plays with his feet, certainly make some plays with those wide receivers. You know, they already been informed to wear 7-inch studs on their cleats, you know, so they can, you know, have better footing, because footing is going to be an issue. Matt McCarthy talked about doing more tackling and breaking tackling drills in practice, so the guys can, you know, can make plays. They have to find somebody. Joe said earlier, you need somebody to make plays. I mean, I think the one thing that gives you hope is what you see around the league. The Giants, who the Cowboys beat, and everybody says that's not a good win. That's just the Giants. But they go to Seattle and beat Seattle. Okay, you see Arizona beating the 49ers. Anything can happen in this league, and I know I heard each say teams are starting to separate. I don't know if teams are going to separate. This NFC is eating each other up. I don't, other than the Vikings who got a good win today, and it seemed like to be rolling. I think everybody's what right now, and that helps the Cowboys. But again, you need to get this win.
To the question that you asked with if it's bad weather, I think, at least in my mind, my first reaction is the Cowboys have been a bad tackling team this year, and bad weather is not good for that. And I also think that when you have a running quarterback that's hell on wheels, that has an advantage when you are also in the rain. So I think it's advantage Steelers. So I hope that the weather goes away and chills out and doesn't do any of that. This might be a dumb question. I saw the actives and inactives. Is Ryan Flournoy called up?
Yeah, no, he's already on the team, so he's already. You don't have to call him up. He's active. Remember, he's on the.
He's active.
Oh, he's just been inactive all the time.
Yeah.
He hasn't. He wasn't.
He's
practicing.
Yeah, he's on the field. So
My
so
bad,
Deuce
Pop
is not,
Pop.
Yes, you know, it's okay. So Deuce is not active. Deuce is inactive for the first time. So
That's because it's Lipke season, baby.
Lipke season, and Flournoy can do some of the things that because Brandon Cooks wasn't on special teams. So Flournoy's going to be on special teams. He's going to play. He's going to do the special team things. And of course, you have to get KJ Henry has to play along with the two guys that they made elevated yesterday on Saturday. You got those two guys. So Deuce is down. So maybe next week for Dalvin Cook. This is not Dalvin Cook week, but maybe we can see a way to get Dalvin Cook on the field and get Deuce down.
Yeah, if you had to guess, or do you have a feel for? Because so many people have been asking about Ryan Flournoy to me this week, and it's kind of a weird thing. I feel like your team has to be pretty bad to have people obsessed with guys who are inactives normally, or dudes who get called up and all that stuff. Like, my gut would be Jalen Brooks has already been playing. That's who's going to play. Devontae Turpin's been playing. That's who's going to play. Or do you think Flournoy might make an impact?
Yeah, I think that people are biting off too much on Flournoy. And people, Jerry Jones, it's funny. He was on the radio saying Flournoy has some Dez Bryant stuff to him. If he has so much Dez Bryant stuff to him, why he been inactive for the first 4 weeks of the season? Listen, I like Flournoy. I like his potential. We love what we saw in the draft, but he's raw. They're not going to. Their game plan not to say, hey, we're going to unleash Flournoy tonight, okay? You're going to try to get Brooks. You're going to get Tolbert. Those are the guys. Turpin, I think he's going to play a big role in doing some of the stuff that Brandon Cooks did. Those are the guys you're going to count on. Flournoy he's going to be a good run blocker. He's going to help out on special teams, and he may make a play or two. But you're not building the offense. Your game plan is not to say we're unleashing Flournoy tonight.
Clarence, no Kalen Carson. He's inactive. What do you think the Cowboys do to kind of counteract that?
Pray.
Clarence.
Pray.
Damn.
I mean, I'm seriously. No. The way you counteract it, again, I don't think that the Steelers have a receiving core that scares you. I think you're more worried about how healthy is Cooks Diggs, in his ankle. Obviously down plan to be left practice the other day with an ankle injury. Hopefully he's healthy. But I mean, the kid that came in last week, he played decently in the second half, but the Cowboys are down to the third corner over there. I mean, you can't expect a great player to come in and really be a lockdown corner. So your hope is in the Steelers' pedestrian passing game. They have a pedestrian passing game. They make plays where the quarterback make plays with his feet, and certainly Pickens can make some plays, but he's not a guy that runs by you.
Yeah, I mean, and to your point, Clarence, they don't do it a lot, the Steelers, but they're third in the NFL on 20-plus yards completion. So when Justin Fields does decide to go downfield, which is far and few in between, he's at least efficient at it. So it is going to put some pressure on these guys to get some pressure from this defensive line. That's a whole nother conversation to have, is how much time is he going to have back there to manipulate the pocket and be able to do some things improvising as well. So we're looking for someone on this defensive line to step up and be able to apply some pressure to Justin Fields as well this game.
Yeah, and Overshawn to be the spy. I mean, you
Yeah.
got a spy. I mean, when they do make the plays down the field, it's because of broken plays and Fields outside the pocket and doing something that's not really within their offense. But you need certainly to get a pass rush on them. You got to keep them in the pocket, and certainly you need Overshawn to spy for sure.
Clarence, appreciate you. Good luck. Try to keep the weather out of there because we need Dak and CeeDee and Ferg. That's our way to victory. So tell no rain, no lightning. Don't do that mess, okay?
See you guys after the game.
Bye, Unc.
There goes Clarence Hill. Oh, you going with Unc now?
You went back and forth.
Well, I was trying to do that to placate him, but then you check the chat. Pop is not going away.
No.
It's not.
Pop is here to stay. It's
He's
here to
gonna be
stay.
Pop
is
forever.
in.
And it couldn't be more
Pop
accurate
Pop.
because he literally is a Pop.
Who's Pop?
He is Clarence. He's a Pop. He give Pop energy.
Okay, because he says that would
I
make
don't-
him a grandpa, but he's not a grandpa,
Yeah.
so he can't be a
Nah.
Pop.
So
But I call my dad Pops, so I think Pop is fine.
But he has multiple kids, so it's Pop.
Yeah,
in that
okay.
case.
He's a tripod.
He's a tripod.
He's in denial.
Yeah,
That's what he is.
If you're here, we appreciate you, and we'd love if you hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you're watching on my channel, make sure you're also subscribing to youtube.com/@DLLS_sports, because that is where we're doing shows 5 days a week, and you need to see them, okay? We got all sorts of stuff we got to get to, including our little look around the NFL, two-eye in the sky, the matchups to watch for this Cowboys game, all sorts of goodness, the guys who got to step up, et cetera, is coming your way next. This is the Dallas Cowboys DLLS pregame show. Meow. What?
And, the weather can kind of give us nerves going into this game, right? We get, we don't know what's in the forecast. It might be looking good. You're not sure what it's going to be. At game time, though, you never have to have worries about what the pictures are going to be because you get peace of mind by knowing before you go. You know exactly what you're going to get with every single game time purchase because guess what? There's all-in pricing. There's none of those like sneaky fees, that are going to trip you up, and that you know exactly what price you're going to get. You can actually put yourself virtually in the seat. You can get a panoramic view of what the seat looks like. There are so many options too on Game Time. It's the absolute best. I'm a huge fan. You can buy 2 tickets in seconds with 2 taps. Just when we do that PTTB or when you pat that thing twice.
PTB2, yeah.
That's 2 taps. You can do that with Game Time too. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, then use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And again, create an account. Redeem with the code DLLS and take $20 off your first purchase. Sometimes, there's tickets. That means you get tickets for like $5 because they're.
Oh, I said
you're looking at it right
the
now?
Mavericks pregame here. The Mavericks preseason game, $5.
There we go. So you don't even need the $20 off of that one, but you can use it with the code DLLS. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it?
Game
time.
Also,
Yeah.
Sleeper. Well, I'm on Sleeper. I was showing Kat earlier. I got 17 open things right now on Sleeper. Because what you do is, I used to think of it as like my fantasy football app, but Sleeper now, what you can do is you can pick players in any sport. I do mostly NFL, but I did throw an NHL one in there yesterday because it was on sale.
Whoa.
And I hit. I have no idea who the guy was, but he did have more than 1.5 shots on goal, whoever he is.
Oh, look at
And
you.
the more players that you pick, the more you can get a return on your money. So you get the Sleeper app, use the code DLLS boys. That is the promo code that you need for us. And what that will get you is up to $100 match on your first deposit with our friends at Sleeper. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out our friends at Sleeper today.
I feel like the random hockey player pick on sale is like the mystery box. Like you're like, hey, I don't know.
Never heard his name. Didn't
Never-
know the team he played for.
could
No
be good.
idea. But
Could
it
be good.
seemed like a great idea. And then I partnered that with some more than on rushing and receiving yards in games earlier today. Bang! Your boy won on Sleeper.
You made some kiss ass?
What's that?
Some kiss ass?
Show me the money.
Some Kizash. It is time for our game time look around the league. And if you guys don't mind, the way I would like to do this is kind of like Ace Ventura when he is explaining what happened with a crime by telling you The Commanders beat the Browns 34-13 today, and Jaden Daniels wasn't superhuman throwing the ball, but he did run 11 times for 82 yards, and he's still really good, and that's the best team in the division is the Washington Commanders. The Giants beat the Seahawks because they blocked and housed a potential game-tying field goal after the Seahawks' entire interior offensive line laid down for no reason. Giants now 2-3. They don't matter because they aren't any good, but you need to know what's happening in the division. The Eagles are on a bye, and birds aren't real, so who cares? Sam Darnold's Vikings are 5-0. That's pretty damn wild. The Niners lost to Arizona, moved to 2-3. They are not a juggernaut at this current time. Bengals lost to the Ravens, which makes me very happy because of how it happened. Teams have gotten way too comfortable settling for 50-plus yard field goals to try to win football games, and that is the act of cowards. I always call for teams to miss those kicks. They did. Bengals are 1-4. That's kind of weird. Ravens were 0-2. They're back. They're up to 3-2. They're a real football team. The Texans beat the Bills because the Bills called 3 straight pass plays from their own 2-yard line with like 30 seconds left in the game and then punted to a team that had their timeouts because they didn't call any run plays. And that team got to run a play, call a timeout, kick a field goal, and beat them. Idiots. Green Bay beat the Rams 24-19. Whatever. That's the Game Time look around the league. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
That was BEA beautiful.
Thank you.
I got you.
Love that reference. Wow.
So yeah, I just want to make sure everybody got everything they needed.
No, we did. We are very informed.
We looked around the league.
You guys are all hooked up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are you ready to get us ready
Yes.
for football? This is Aisha Morrison, our analyst and X and O's queen,
Yeah.
with the 2-eye in the sky
Yes.
matchups to watch, Cowboys Steelers.
Yes. All right. So first of all, y'all, I'm just gonna start here. Spoke to CeeDee Lamb in the locker room.
I like how you hold your notebook like a child.
Yeah. There's not a single corner that has the foot speed to keep up with CeeDee Lamb. I expect to see the Cowboys. I would hope, I would pray to move him in the slot and get him matched up with Beanie Bishop Jr., who has had some trouble with getting guys impressed specifically. You know, they play a lot of cover 3, and they're going to do things like that. So Minkah Fitzpatrick also, too, going up against a CeeDee Lamb. I think that matchup is going to be key in this game. If they are going to pass the ball, we don't know just yet with the weather.
Chill out, weather. Let us throw the ball a little bit. This is what we need. What I was thinking about.
Yes. What were you thinking about?
When I was thinking about earlier and asking how everybody felt, I don't feel so good.
Oh my God!
The reason I don't feel so good is because I kind of zoom out and it's like, okay, like, what are the Cowboys good at? Yeah. And the answer so far this year is nothing.
And that's what I meant earlier about teams starting to separate themselves.
Right.
It's not necessarily like, ooh, you're better, but at least teams are starting to show what their identity is.
Give you a feel for who they are or can be.
Absolutely. We're starting
not from
to see
a literal record
Yes,
standpoint.
we're starting to see that. And so this is the game where you want the Cowboys to do that. My next matchup is going to be the Dallas run game versus the Steelers front. Please, y'all. Please. Please, y'all. We already know this defensive line is loaded.
It's
it
number
starts
one run defense in football.
Yes, it starts even so with the interior. They have Keanu Benton, who is just a terror. They are missing Alex Highsmith out with a groin, which is huge because he's kind of the heart and soul of their defensive line. Nick Herbig is back. These guys can really give it to you from the interior. So I'm looking for the Cowboys to establish something on the ground, especially if it's going to rain. They got to.
If it's going to rain, they have to. Otherwise,
they have to.
It's tough because if you're not able to run the ball, I hate it because now the other team knows that you're always passing the ball and they can play you to pass the ball. And if they can still rush the passer, like with TJ Watt, now you're in trouble. So I want them to have a semblance of a run game.
Yes.
But the one thing I would beg of the Cowboys is please don't bang your head against the wall. If you run on 2nd and 5 or 1st and 10 and you're getting 1 yard and 2 yards and we've done it 7 times, stop it. Mm-hmm. Don't waste downs. Don't waste plays. Run plays that serve a purpose, not to just, we wanted to establish.
Yeah.
Don't establish. Run good plays.
But they also might not have an option because what's worse than rain?
Passing,
but wind too.
Right.
And right now, the forecast calling for around 60-mile-an-hour high of gusts.
This would never happen in my NFL because in my NFL, if you build a stadium, it must have a roof. You can make it retractable if you want to. I want the best team at football to win at football, not the one that did better when everybody was just smooshing into each other and seeing where we fall.
Man.
You can let light come in the stadium. That's not that's fine.
Yeah, we like light. Jerry lets light come in all the time.
Light's nice.
We're looking for them to dictate coverage because here's the thing: is like this Steelers defense. They're gonna run cover 3. They're gonna protect the deep third of the field, and they're gonna have that extra safety down there. Listen, if you can get these people to play man, and your guys can win on the outside, if you got to play, if you got to do that. Now you're talking about the weather. I think it's gonna be important for them to attack the intermediate and flats. Make these guys have to tackle. Make these guys have to chase you.
Does a slant count as intermediate?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Does a curl count as intermediate?
I'm going to throw
we
up.
are so attacking. We are so attacking
No,
the intermediate.
and here's the thing, though, is like against this defense and the way that they play football, you have to be looking for windows, little places where you can have slippage. And so that brings me to my next thing. If they are going to pass the rock around, Dak Prescott versus this secondary. This is a vision defense. They're looking at the quarterback. They're trying to make you have to play underneath. Listen, he's going to have to be manipulative in how he moves safeties off, how he, even pump fakes, things like that to open up these windows if the play calling doesn't do it. But I'm hoping he can throw guys open. I'm hoping that he can throw the ball to guys on the move, because if you force some bad angles against this cover 3, there can be big plays that come out of that. So those are my 3 matchups, man. CeeDee Lamb in the slot versus Beanie Bishop Jr. with Mika Fitzpatrick. Mika's a hard hitter. He's a little bit of a Looney Tune. He can get caught peeking inside. Run past his ass, CeeDee Lamb. Dak Prescott dealing with that secondary and how they play. See if he can manipulate some of those safeties, get them off kilter, and make some plays, and have your receivers have some yak ability. And also, too, the Steelers' defensive front versus this Dallas offensive line. It's going to start there. If they can block it up, we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, that's kind of the one that I'm really looking at is, Alex Highsmith, right, who's been fantastic opposite of TJ Watt. TJ Watt is not going to line up on Tyler Guyton if, probably not at all. If it does, it'd be pretty much a surprise.
Right.
That means Herbig is going to go up against Tyler Guyton a lot. And what did we see Tyler Guyton struggle with last week? Speed and underneath rip moves, right?
So you think maybe a 240, 245-pound edge rusher might have a speed and a rip move?
A little 6'2" guy that likes to get, high effort dude. I think that's exactly in his wheelhouse. I think it's going to be a big challenge for Tyler Guyton. He showed me literally this week in Pass Pro what the difference is between what he's doing and what he needs to do.
Yes.
Let's see if he actually does it against Herbig.
How much, and here's another thing too, is like, I don't know, and that probably is why Lipke is playing. I will say, well, he's gonna. It looks like Deuce Vaughn wasn't elevated.
Like get more reps in the offense.
Because you're gonna have to chip. You're gonna have to help out. I think that he's primed to do that. But not only do that, maybe slip into the flats, get you some things, some quick outs. You talk about the weather, even so. I think that they're gonna have to help some of these guys, specifically on the edge.
Yeah.
They can't just leave them out there, because that's what they're doing too. Like, they're finding ways. I know we talked about it a few weeks ago. They're finding ways to kind of have the running backs chip as they're going out and stuff. But against this defensive line, your tight ends might have to wear their big boy draws today.
Well, we only have one tight end, unless you're counting Lipke.
Don't make me cry.
But I appreciate everything that you said. I don't like our tight ends, except for Ferg.
Saw someone in the chat say weather delay. That's what I'm trying to.
Oh, are we going to have us one of those?
Is it happening?
I saw someone in the chat say,
Where is Voch Lombardi? Voch Lombardi's on the postgame show. Sometimes if he's hanging out, he gets antsy and just dives in because he wants to be here. And he's like, I got to get up in there. I appreciate Emma looking out for me. She said, Jeff, are you okay? Like, are you breathing when you do the look around the league? The whole point was to pretend you're not, because that's what Ace Ventura does when he explains a crime. He breathes in one time, he rips out the whole thing, and then goes, and it's fun.
Yes.
2 other things that I think will be interesting, and who knows? Because again, depending on what the weather is, dictates probably a lot of different things.
Not seeing delay yet.
But without Kalen Carson being ready to go in this game, we had quite an adventure with both Andrew Booth and I'm going to say AO until
Amani Arourier.
Yep.
Amani Arourier.
Liked his film at Penn State. But
I almost asked Clarence where he went to college. I was this close.
Boy,
it was this close.
I'm good at that game. Draft people are good at that game.
I love that game.
I'll see a guy. The Cowboys will sign a guy 11 years into his career, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, nice player.
I remember
Western Michigan.
I'm becoming that with draft stuff now.
Yeah, it's fun for your NFL knowledge. Study the draft. You'll know everybody. But so, like, how do they survive that? How much help is needed there? Because Booth got toe up. Yeah. I know AO had the pick to end the game. But before that was an adventure.
You know who also had a pick this week?
Stephon Gilmore iced the game for Minnesota.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, he's a decent player.
And
so I will have a sharp eye or a wonk eye on what happens at that corner spot. And then obviously no Micah Parsons, no Tank Lawrence. I think the Tank part of that equation, not that it's replaceable at his level, but the entire idea of Marshawn Nealand as your second round pick is they want him to be the next Tank.
Yes.
As Tank will probably be gone after this season.
Yeah.
They want him to be the next one. And so I think that he can, to some extent, step into those shoes and be a stout run defender who maybe gets a little pressure if there's some passing game going on. Parsons is the one where, congrats, like they lost. The Steelers are without Highsmith, who is an awesome NFL pass rusher.
So good.
But they have another one who happens to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate every year. The Cowboys have one, and he ain't der. And so it'll be interesting to see, one, can anybody step up and replace that? And two, how do they try? Like, will they really say Overshown the athlete, take a crack at it? Or
Well, on that note, really quick, surprise inactive was KJ Henry for me, because who was the only guy I thought from a defensive line standpoint that had Micah Parsons' speed was the new guy, KJ Henry, inactive, maybe just because he's getting acclimated to things. But I think that kind of sets what you're going to talk up. Maybe,
I actually touched base with DeMarvion Overshown this week, and he wouldn't give me nothing. He wouldn't tell me. But I started saying some of the things that I thought that they could do, especially when you talk about this cornerback situation. I think you would be better off sending pressure from the edges. Like, I don't think that I would be doing.
Don't trust them to cover. Send more people. But then they do have to cover.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. And if you're gonna do it, like, I think blitzing a linebacker is fine up the middle, whatever. But you need to get there quickly. Quickly. So I think you have a better chance if you do some corner safety blitz stuff. But it did feel like DeMarvion Overshown felt like that there were some things that maybe some blitz packages that we maybe haven't seen yet.
Are you winking while you say it?
That we might see. I'm not that good at winking, guys. I look like there's something going on with me.
We do got a delay, by the way.
Oh, sweet.
Barnacles.
That's good. Everybody just has more time to get warmed up for the game. You get loose, because I know if you guys are like me, like I stretch a little bit.
I got to stretch more, dude.
A little dynamic
Stretch
stretching.
what?
Everything. You have to get ready for the game.
Do you?
Yeah, you have to get loose. You have to limber up.
Yeah.
The one other thing that I wanted to get to in the pregame is, because I don't think we've had a chance to talk about it yet, is that the Brandon Cooks thing is now not a 1 week thing. It looks like it's at least a 4 week thing going to IR. And just, I guess, everybody's reaction to it, because my initial reaction was I saw, I will say, a friend of the show and a friend of mine who said this really hurts the Cowboys. And I hit the reply button and I said, how? Because I'm just excited to see the other guys. And maybe part of why I'm so convinced that Brandon Cooks is pretty washed is that he was playing hurt, and maybe this is actually a good thing, and there could be a better version of him that still exists. But I'm excited to see the other guys get opportunities because he hasn't been effective.
Well, I mean, to take Jesse Hawley's position here, this is the Jalen Tolbert game, right? This is the one where, hey, you got to prove that you are the eventual Brandon Cooks replacement. One thing with Jalen Tolbert that everyone always talks about when you talk with him, it's the dude takes really good notes. Like, he's an incredible note taker. He's a great preparer. So I asked him, like, Jalen, can I see your notebook? And he showed me the notebook, and he's like, oh, this is how I do it, and I'm going to do a feature on this eventually.
That's badass.
Yeah, but he showed me just like, oh, hey, in this play, I'm here, but if I was going to be in Brandon's spot, I'd be here. Oh, but if I'm have to take care of CeeDee Lamb spot, I'd be right here. Long story short, the guy is he knows this offense inside and out. He also knows every single receiver position inside and out. I think that you're going to see a lot of position flexibility with Jalen Tolbert come this game.
Yeah, and it could be huge because he is one of the only receivers, because I know we talked about Turpin maybe taking over and doing some of the things that you wanted Brandon Cooks to do. But Jalen Tolbert is one of the only receivers that has had, like, experience within this offense. I do think he has enough experience to understand how to sit his ass in a zone, be patient, and not be jittery, which is something that I worry about with Kevontae Turpin. It's him getting a little, like, this is on defense that you have to find spaces and make your plays when you need to make your plays. I'm looking for Jalen Tolbert to come out and do some things as well. And I'm just on the defensive and offensive side, like you were just talking about, we're looking at one of these receivers to step up, because if they do, if at least one of them steps up, maybe you're not just going to be rolling a safety over at a CeeDee Lamb. Maybe we need somebody else for defenses to have to be like, man, maybe I need to keep my tail over here a little bit. And on the defensive side, the defensive line, if someone can get pressure, if someone could draw a double team, draw a chip, Have mercy.
I love the dream.
It was,
but for both of those things, I'm like,
I know, but that's what you're looking for.
Right.
Because if you don't, it's going to be hat on hat and your guy against that other guy. And that's not working out for them too well right now. So we're looking for guys to step up on both sides of the ball.
You can't make that happen. You're a 2-3 team.
I'm going to cry in the car.
I mean,
possible.
just if that doesn't happen, you know.
Well, they got a half hour to let something hopefully pass, and then we can play in better weather, and then we can kick their butt. Cowboys by 100, if you guys are wondering. So,
by 100.
Yeah, enjoy your pregame festivities. You now have time to make salsa at the house and get yourself comfortable. And yeah,
we can get cookies.
We're gonna go get cookies.
But come back when the game is about to be over or when the game ends. Find your way over to youtube.com/@DLLS_sports so we can post game this thing and celebrate a 102-2 Cowboys victory. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. So be cool to everyone and come on, man.
Or else.
Do good, Cowboys. We love you, or else. Be easy.
We all silly like the mayor.